got all kinds of kales. These ones, these loofahs.
So these are the toilet paper, the natural?
No, these are used for sponges. So basically all sponges in America can be replaced by these. Many people use them. Also women and men like them for the shower time. Mm-hmm. So you dry this. This one is not completely dry. I have a fully dry one inside and around back. But you peel it off. You see that? It becomes a sponge, right?
Cool.
Yeah, man. Everything that we need is provided for us by the great.
You know, I've seen a lot
dries out and
sure.
use it.
I've seen a lot of gardens, but many of them look a little bit cleaner than this.
Well, I can't say that they're cleaner. I'm sure we all have the same amount of dirt.
Organized, perhaps, is a better word.
But isn't the mentality of organization one of the problems that we're confronting? Because we order everything and put things in rows, and these are not the most effective systems. Actually, we must value the edges and value the marginal. At these intersections is where biodiversity flourishes.
So think outside of the box, get out of the regular rules.
Don't build boxes. Yeah. The universe doesn't build boxes. The universe builds spirals and circles, you know. So in this sense, this is from a massive seed balling effort where you just make clay seed balls and you put them everywhere and then you see what grows. Now, let's say that this is growing, right? Or these loofahs are growing. I can look and see, in fact, there's various web databases for this, but you can also just look and do some research and see what other plants grow well with loofah. It's called companion planting or gilding. And then we plant those seeds. And in this way, you're building up healthy ecosystems that don't require external inputs rather than sunlight, you know, and the natural water that falls.
So, you know, you've lost 2 cases already. When are you going to give up, or are you going to give up?
Are you going to give up on the planet and your friends? What's your name?
Tim.
Tim. Nice to meet you, Tim. Yeah. So are you going to give up on the planet and your friends?
This isn't my yard.
It's all up to you. It's all up to you. It's up to you to...
Are you going to file another case to the Supreme Court? Are you going to go to the Supreme Court?
I think that I'll stand and keep growing. And hopefully people will come to their senses. And
if
realize,
the fines keep growing?
You know, everything grows, right? And everything has its cycles. So it's not up to me about, you know, they want to make these various kinds of fusses or attack. This is not up to me. I'm simply growing life and not getting in the way of what naturally happens.
But, you know, a lot of your neighbors may say, you know, is this life? I mean...
Yes, that's life. What do you call it? That's not life. So you're telling me these roads and pavements and plastics, all of that is legal, which is hugely destructive on the planet. And meanwhile, you're going to tell me a plant is illegal? You know?
But you have a driveway. I mean, you drive a car.
Sure, it's true. We have to do these things for the time being.
So when they say you have to do these things, maybe mow your lawn just so your neighbors don't get all mad?
Sure. The problem with mowing your lawn, or many other kinds of problems that are similar to this, is that it's what's called a scalable effect. So merely mowing one lawn you might not see as being that significant. However, in this case, like in the greater Orlando area, essentially all the common spaces or, you know, the spaces are lawns. So when we turn these into monocultures that don't have any biodiversity in them, we cause mass extinction. It's an extinction scape, right? Likewise, the emissions from lawns. I have read that in a given year, more gasoline is casually spilled on our lawns. In 1 year, more is casually spilled on the lawns of America than was spilled during the entirety of the Exxon Valdez mobile crisis. And that's
lawnmowers and whatnot.
Right, and that's year after year after year. The emissions are quite bad as well. But remember that the gasoline doesn't come from nowhere. The machines don't come from nowhere. So if you want to keep it, short or whatever, there's real mowers. There's, you can use a scythe. I have a scythe. It's no big deal. You know, it's quite comfortable, a good exercise.
So are you going to pay the fines Are you going to pay the fines?
I don't know anything about the future. I know the present moment. Our job is to grow life love.
Well, you've got some fines, so are you going to pay them or not?
Who knows what will happen? But right now, this moment, right here,
you're not planning on
your mission is to grow life love, right? Because growing life love grows loving life, and loving life grows life, which grows love, right? Loving grows living. Right.
Well, your neighbors don't love you right now.
Life to grow, we need to grow life love.
But what do you say to all your neighbors? I mean, they say this is trash.
They have a loofah. How you can't call life as trash. Plus, you can eat all of these things. So, do you eat your garbage? I don't personally eat my garbage, but maybe somebody does.
That's a good point. Anything else you want to say that we missed? Because obviously, we'll ask them, similar questions. And, they say this is a garden.
Right. This is a garden. I agree. It's called a natural garden. It's well known. You can look it up, natural gardening or natural garden. It's also derived from the Japanese gardening system known as Shizen Noho. Noho is farming, Shizen is natural, by Matsunobu Fukuoka. He uses what's called clay seed balls, and you seed and grow a diversity of things. And then it's better once you have some birds and stuff moving around in here, pooping, scraping things up, dropping eggs, In fact, even on your home, then you can have water catchment, compost pile. So as much as possible, we need to decentralize and re-centralize on our own homesteads and then share that abundance. So where I have abundance, like I have tons of loofahs, but I don't have that many carrots. So if somebody else was growing a lot of carrots, I'd definitely swap some loofahs for some carrots, And with software now, it's all very, it's not so easy, but it is contemplatable and doable to, affect this kind of reality.
That was perfect. Anything else you want to add?
Grow life, love, practice permaculture, and let's make a happy universe that we can share with all other living beings.
Shon, what do you do? I'm Tim.
I'm working on a software project now called Nebber, Nebber.
Okay.
And it's to affect some of these kinds of things to facilitate more synergy in your social networks. So it synergizes you with the world around you and also the people that you're connected to.
Okay, so like example, that would be like Facebook and Twitter, that kind of stuff, pulling them all together? Or what would it be?
So you'll just have to sign up and find out.
Find out.
There's a landing page, and we're in development right now. So God willing, we'll be successful, at least in offering. And then
when do you plan to get up and running? In the next year or so? Or?
Yeah, in the next year or so. Yeah. Right now, there's a very cute landing page that everybody will enjoy with animals. And if you have some plant people, they can identify a lot of these better than me.
Sure. I mean, there are tons here.
Yeah, there's tons of different things with biodiversity.
Yeah.
Remember that actually everything that you see is light, is photons. So you are not made of something different in a substantive way than the sunshine or the water. It's the way that we're organized, right? So you yourself are actually a diversity of trillions of living beings. And then you have this awareness, and it seems, it unifies where your neural network goes. But in fact, we're composed of millions of units. So a yard or an ecosystem is just the same in this way as a person. So if we were to take out all your guts bacteria because somebody didn't like the way it we'll suffer for it, And again, an interesting point is lots of things especially lots of household things like brooms, as I said, toilet paper, loofahs for cleaning your body and dishes, soapberry. It's called soapberry or soap.
Like, you can use
for washing your clothes.
Is this dead? I mean, what's the purpose for this?
Sure. So at the end of a life cycle, things die, and then they gradually release their nutrients back into the environment.
Right. The cycle, the whole cycle.
So we've gotten really used to it's the same thing that we do with the elders in our society, where we cast them off into a hidden box so we needn't look at their decay, right? So in the same way, we've grown so accustomed to this false decay. The thing is that every week they're spending, especially on a national scale, a la Kant's categorical imperative, on a national scale or a worldwide scale, the harm that's done from conventional landscaping practices now is quite bad. And really, you're telling me it's illegal to, like, if you're saying this is illegal, you're saying rainforests are illegal.
No, the city's because illegal.
Right. I know, but
I get you.
The English you.
Yeah.
So for us to regrow forests, you have to let things grow. In the process, you might as well seed it with lots of food-bearing plants.
You seem like a legal kind of mind. At what point, because there are laws and you keep setting
I'm also laws. A law.
What's that?
I said I'm also a law.
Yeah. So you seem to be setting all these legal issues, but at what point, this is a city, this seems like a rural area.
These are just human
Do
concepts.
those laws not
City,
matter?
Rural area. So the laws.
But they're laws.
Enforcement
laws,
right?
and they're saying you're out of line.
So just like with HOAs, they have to adhere to the Constitution of the United States of America. In the First Amendment, our freedom of
So you're saying the city's overstepping its bounds?
I don't know anything about bounds, but the laws that we make or the rules that we come and enforce with guns and tasers and whatnot are supposed to accord with the founding documents and other paperworks that we.
So are you saying the city's codes are unconstitutional? Is that what you're saying?
I think that the enforcement of certain things certainly is unconstitutional, and it is definitely against the spirit of the Declaration of Independence: life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. So,
what about the happiness of your neighbors?
Right, that's right. So our happiness.
Because everyone.
However, look at the hierarchy.
If you're talking about happiness, everybody seems to be pretty upset about this.
Not everybody. The plants and many of my friends and people are quite set and and happy. Right, it's good. And in fact, more people will be happy. We just get accustomed to things, and then oh my God, it's change. Or oh my God, like if you look at our houses, there's no other living beings in the house. We live in some kind of crazy town houses, mine as well, where there's not other life around us. So when we see life, it's kind of startling. All we live around is humans now. So it's better that we live with all beings and work with them in a harmonious way to produce more life and more food for everybody. As far as the spirit of the Declaration of Independence, it goes life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. So if in my pursuit or enjoyment of liberty, I impinge upon your liberty or your happiness, right, or at least if I impinge upon your life, right, then I am curtailed. So my liberties cannot go so far that they affect your life. If my pursuit of happiness goes so far that it affects your liberties, then that is also wrong. And in, let's say, somebody's pursuit of happiness to try to oppress, my liberty to grow life, my liberty to grow life here, in their pursuit of happiness to oppress that, they really are overstepping the bounds, right? Yeah.